it's pumpkin season, the weather is chilly, so it's the perfect excuse to have some pumpkin soup. Speaking of pumpkin soup and food, now that we are deep down in the Creole season in Dominica, I would love to know from you, what are your favorite Dominican traditional dishes? I'm going to share mine in this video. Let's go. Welcome to this channel. If you are new, my name is Clementine Fana and you can call me Dr. Clem. I am a remote work and travel expert, and I share tips and advice regarding where you can go and what you can do for your short weekend getaways or short trips or vacations. If you want to be part of this amazing adventure, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a bit. Throughout the month of October, I'll be sharing amazing videos about what is happening on the island Dominica during the Creole season. And no, I'm not in Dominica yet, but I am traveling for the Creole season, so I'm looking forward to see you at the events. I also share tips and advice about finding a remote job or an online job opportunity so that you can travel more, see more, and do more. So if you want to be part of that amazing adventure, make sure that you check out my remote jobs directory, which gives you a directory of more than 50 companies hiring internationally right now. I made these especially for you. But now let's get back to speaking about food. The things that I appreciated and loved when I moved to the Caribbean initially was how diverse the food is. And even though a lot of the recipes and the culinary experiences come from the motherland, which is Africa, I still appreciate seeing how diverse and how different Caribbean foods, especially Dominican food, is. In this video, what I would like to do is share with you key foods that you should absolutely taste or try whenever you travel to Dominica, especially during this Creole season. If you're traveling to Dominica for this Creole season, you absolutely, and I mean absolutely, must taste one of these foods. Now, the first food on my list of must try when you visit Dominica is pumpkin soup. Now, I personally don't like pumpkin, and it's not something that I was used to or exposed to so much when I was living back home in Cameroon. It's not something that I would go for, but I actually discovered how yummy and amazing pumpkin soup can be. Okay, yeah, right now in Toronto or in North America in general is fall, and fall is all about like pumpkin and pumpkin carving and whatnot, and pumpkin is like the vegetable that goes along with the colors of the fall, so everybody is all about pumpkin pie and stuff. But when I actually got to Dominica, I was really surprised to see that you can actually make soup out of pumpkin, and I will take this opportunity to give the biggest shout out to two people that I feel have the best pumpkin soup I have ever tasted in Dominica. Number one is my very good friend Leandra Lander, or Lee Lander. She makes an amazing pumpkin soup. I mean, I will eat her pumpkin soup any day, anytime. And number two is the Mama Bird, Auntie Pearl Christian. She makes an amazing pumpkin soup too. Like, I will eat her pumpkin, no matter, even if she feeds me pumpkin soup in ice pop, I will eat it. Okay, like pumpkin soup is usually served as an appetizer, so take that as an appetizer. If you've never tried it, take it, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Second soup that I would recommend, the second dish that I would recommend if you're traveling to Dominica, is kalaloo soup. Just like pumpkin soup, kalaloo soup is also served as an appetizer, but it could also go on its own. And basically, kalaloo is a green leafy vegetable within the same family of spinach. So whatever health benefits you're getting from spinach, then you also get it from kalaloo. And if you see, the suggestions that I'm giving you are actually healthy options. Like pumpkin soup is rich in beta carotene, which is amazing for your skin, your hair, and your nails. Kalaloo soup as a green leafy vegetable is great because it's rich in vitamin B12 and I think it's iron as well. So if you have like iron problems or iron deficiency and so forth, those kind of green leafy vegetables are good for you, like natural ways to boost your iron levels. So I definitely recommend cantaloupe soup. It's usually made with crab as well in Dominica, so this is something that you can definitely try whenever you visit the island. The next thing that I recommend is sancoch. Do not confuse it with sancocho, which is a Dominican Republic dish, you know, Santo Domingo, which is close to Haiti. In Dominica, the dish is called sancoch and is somehow different. So sancoch is a coconut curry fish kind of dish that is usually made around Independence as well. It's also a healthy recipe. I want to give a big shout out to the best sancoch that I've ever tasted. It was done by one of my very close friends, her father. When she watches this video, sorry, she's going to recognize herself. You know, unfortunately he passed away, but I can never ever forget his sancoch and his red bean soup. So I absolutely love it. So you should definitely try out sancoch when you visit Dominica. Not very far from sancoch, another amazing Independence time dish in Dominica is crab backs. Woo! If I can tell you one thing is, from what I have seen at least and heard from my Dominican friends and even seen in restaurants, crab backs are one of the dishes that sell out the fastest at all restaurants. Okay, and basically crab backs are crab backs that are stuffed with seasoned and yummy crab meat. Now it's important to note that when it comes to crab, crabs cannot be hunted throughout the year in Dominica. I mean, like there is a specific season during which it is legal to hunt crabs, and that season is the Independence season. So you know, everybody is already out. If they haven't gotten their crabs yet, every restaurant has already is on all there to get the crabs and the crab backs. I have tried something that they call crab cakes in the US, especially in Maryland, Baltimore. I have tried it in some other islands as well, but I think, I mean, it's not the same as crab backs. It's kind of, you know, not the same, but I would say that Dominica has amazing crab backs, and they usually go a little bit pricey because it takes a lot of time to make, and you know, you can only hunt crabs generally during a specific season. So when you get your crab backs, trust me, they are worth it. So put the money where your mouth is, literally, and get you some crab backs during this Independence season. Another dish that I want to tell you about is chateau water or octopus broth. Okay, now if you're not from Dominica, or maybe not from the Caribbean, I think I should just say not from Dominica, you wouldn't know what chateau water is. But generally in Dominica, they use the term water to represent a broth or like a big soup, right? So when you hear chateau water, is a soup water. Soup water is a chateau soup, right? But chateau is a local slang for octopus. But since I've been here in Toronto, I've actually seen, you know, people selling octopus, you know, skewers and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I guess it's not so weird. But you know, chateau water is really nice, and I think that if you get the opportunity to try it, if you go to a party, a fete, you know, a jam, and they have water and they have chateau water, I think you should try. You know, I would definitely recommend you trying the chateau water. Coming down on our list, we also have pilau. Now pilau is a rice dish that can be assimilated to risotto in, you know, Italy, you know, how do you call that, jollof rice in Nigeria, jollof rice in Cameroon as well, you know, tebudjen in Senegal and so forth. So depending on the cultural influences that you have, there are different ways in which people cook this kind of like mixed and rich rice. So in Dominica, it's called pilau. I tried it, I think, when I was still in medical school. I tried to understand what the big fuss was about. You know, with pilau, people love their pilau, you know, but it's a rice dish which is kind of like you know, rice that you make with like your seasoning, your tomato sauce, and you can put some chicken in there and stuff like that. So I think it's worth trying for the sake of trying it. This is not definitely going to be my go-to dish, but I think that if you're visiting Dominica for the first time or returning visitor, is something that is worth to have. The final dish that we're going to talk about is bakes and cod fish. Now I love my bakes. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make bakes. 50 years I'm on the island, but I still don't know how to make bakes. It turns out that I probably just prefer buying them from somebody who's experienced in making bakes, right? Bakes in Dominica are the equivalent of what other islands call ackee, and bakes can be stuffed with either corned beef, with codfish, or with cheese. Bakes and codfish are great for your breakfast, for your afternoon snack before you eat your afternoon lunch, or for dinner. You can eat your bakes and codfish at any point in time. There are also some restaurants that serve roasted bakes, because the traditional version of the bakes is fried bakes, but there are some restaurants that serve roasted bakes and they stuff them either with the codfish or with other yummy things. So I think that you can try either version, the roasted bakes or the fried bakes. Either way, lately I tend to prefer the roasted bakes. They are a little bit more expensive, but they are definitely worth it. Now let's move on to some drinks that you absolutely must have when you are visiting the Nature Isle. The first one is your kako tea. I mean, kako tea, I am spoiled with kako tea. I love my kako tea, and I would say kako tea is one of the things that I miss the most, in terms of food in Dominica. Like, I feel like even if I travel with my kako sticks, it's still not enough for me to, like, I feel like I need kako sticks for every single week, because back in Dominica, I was drinking kako tea at least once a week, at least, for the very minimum. If you go out for breakfast in the morning, or breakfast date, or, like a breakfast meeting, anywhere you go, ask for the kako tea. I always ask for the kako tea. Ask for your tea bags or anything, go for the kako tea. Trust me, you're going to like it. If you have never tried it, you're definitely going to like it. The next drink that you absolutely must have on the Nature Isle is sorrel. Now in Africa, we know sorrel as, well, in different countries it has different names, right? But in Cameroon we call it folere, and it's actually a red drink made from hibiscus leaves. Now the photo that I have here is actually sorrel that was made in Senegal, and I had it when I traveled last to Senegal. And you will also see it mixed with what we call Boabab Juice, or monkey bread juice. It's too long to explain what it is. I'm going to put the links that you can read more about it. So back in Senegal, we can actually mix our sorrel with the Boabab juice to get that mixed flavor, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Next drink that you should try when you're visiting the Nature Isle is a rum punch. Now you cannot leave the Caribbean without having had a punch or two, or a handful. Now, for a little bit of history, back in Cameroon, our culture is also very rum oriented, and we usually use rum actually to cook and to bake, right? So like when we make pastries and cakes and pancakes, and so we put our rum, a little bit of rum in it. So it was really when I came to the Caribbean that I actually discovered rum as a drink. It's pretty interesting, and you will notice that depending on where you are in the world, there are different alcoholic drinks that are more predominant. Like in the Caribbean, it's rum. Definitely there are different types of rums, and in Canada they have like their cider, for example, which is like a big deal, and they have other like stronger alcohols. In the US and so forth, it's not so much of a rum oriented country. So it was really interesting to discover the culture of rum in the Caribbean, made from molasses and so forth. So I think that when you are in Dominica specifically, you need to try at least a rum punch or two, but make sure you drink responsibly and that you take what you can handle. Another dish that I would definitely recommend is trying a cassava bread made product, specifically a cassava bread pizza. Now let me tell you, last Christmas I got to really experience a lot of cassava based products from the Cassava Man, the legendary Cassava Man in Dominica. Everybody knows the Cassava Man, or at least everybody should know the Cassava Man in Dominica. And one of the products that I actually tried was a cassava bread pizza, and let me tell you something, that pizza, like, I still have the taste of that pizza in my mouth. I tried it during the annual Christmas market at the Bayfront at the Promenade, the Christmas fair, and I finished an entire pizza. I mean, with my team members who were there with me, because I had never tried a pizza that is not made of regular flour, right? So I really felt like it was an innovative way of using cassava based products, and I think that especially during the season like Independence and stuff, a lot of local products are going to be pushed. So if you get the opportunity to see the Cassava Man stall anywhere, ask for the cassava pizza. There was a Hawaiian pizza, there was a pepperoni pizza, there was a cheese pizza, and they were just absolutely regal. So that's it for a quick roundup of the dishes and the drinks that I would recommend when you're visiting Dominica. Obviously the Dominican culinary culture is way faster than that, and I only gave you examples of what I feel are things that you should definitely try. If you are from Dominica on land or from the diaspora, let me know what are your favorite Dominican dishes that you recommend that people try when they visit the island. What did I miss from this list, and what would you love people to taste when they visit the island? Let's continue the conversation in the comments below.